Until Dawn is getting a remaster and/or remake thing. It's coming out like now! Also, it's October, it's spooky season! That being said, it's just an excuse for me to talk about the game, which I'll be doing right here, right now, on this YouTube channel. Until Dawn originally released in 2015 on the PlayStation 4, it was published by Sony. It's developed by Supermassive Games, who mostly seem to make Little Big Planet DLC and a singular Doctor Who game before that. Until Dawn is a horror game / narrative adventure like thing, similar to stuff like Heavy Rain or Telltale post The Walking Dead. I haven't played the remake, since it's not out yet, but it seems to be just updated visuals and the like. Hey look, more dirt. The game does look good. Also, this remake is coming to PC, unlike the original. But this almost 10-year-old game still holds up pretty well. So I can still talk about what made the original, in what Sony called in its own words, a sleeper hit. Let's start with, what is a narrative adventure game? This type of game normally involves exploring an environment, making narrative choices through dialogue and actions. Any sort of action scene is normally reserved for a QTE, which stands for Quick Time Event. So what does Until Dawn do to stand out in its genre? One thing is the game's tone and style. Until Dawn is a throwback to teen horror movies, meaning while the game can be scary and have a horror atmosphere, it does not take itself too seriously, unlike a lot of its competitors in the genre, but that's for another time. Never stand out as just the overall premise, a game about keeping your group of teens alive until dawn. Hey look, the title of the game. Have you ever been watching one of those horror films and been like, no, don't go in there, don't do that? Well, now that choice is in your hands. Another fun aspect is that you're constantly switching characters and perspective to uncover the mystery of the game. Yes, there is a mystery to uncover through the story's twists and turns to help keep your teens alive. One of those mysteries is the totems that give you a small out of context clip in the future that may help you. Between chapters of the game, you get to talk to the analyst.
Before we begin, there are a few things I need to make sure you understand. You see, no one can change what happened last year. The past is beyond our control. You have to accept this in order to move forward. But there is freedom in this revelation. Everything you do, every decision you make from now on will open doors to the future. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this as you play your game. Every single choice will affect your fate and the fate of those around you.
He will ask you questions like, what kind of things do you fear? Which will have some small effects on the story and the presentation. The analyst is played by well-known actor Peter Stormare. We also got some other famous faces such as the cheerleader from Heroes. Also Rami Malek. He went on to become a big actor, Starman guy. The game also tells you the characters' traits and relationships on the pause screen. From my research, it does not seem to affect the gameplay and or the story too much. It just seems to be more of a way to keep track of where the characters are at. I think we should look at the game's Prologue Chapter to see how this all flows together. At the start of the game, you get told about the butterfly effect. Basically, it's a theme in the game that they bring up several times.
Boom. Butterfly effect.
But from a gameplay standpoint, it just means that small choices can have a big impact down the line. The game will let you know when you made a butterfly effect choice.
Maybe I shouldn't overprocess stuff.
After that, we see a bunch of teens in the cabin. It seems they're about to pull a prank on Hannah. We then get to play as her twin, Beth. We get to walk around and learn how to pick things up. Hannah gets pranked. Beth thinks she sees something outside. We then have to make a choice of whether to wake up our brother Josh or look for the others. Some choices are time sensitive, so be aware. Hannah runs away. We get a choice of going fast or safe. The fast route will have harder QTEs. But there may be things that are time sensitive in the game, so you want to get there quickly. Beth gets to wave around her flashlight. We find our first totem. The sisters reunite and get chased. We get one of those time choices. For the record, this choice does not matter in the prologue, since both sisters fall to their deaths anyway. The analyst will even say as much in our first session. After that, we get a cool title sequence that gets interrupted halfway through with some exposition.
Anniversary of the dreadful tragedy that took place on Mount Washington. Annie Klein was in charge of the investigation.
Thanks for having me, Marty.
Listeners, an update on Hannah and Beth Washington, the twins who are still missing.
1 year ago tonight, the Washington girls left the safety of their parents' lodge and headed out into a snowstorm.
Foul play.
Not officially, no. There is one individual we're considering as a person of interest, but his whereabouts are currently unknown. He has an interesting history with the Washington family. He had warned them against pursuing their construction project and claimed the land was sacred to his forefathers.
You know, there is still the old sanatorium on the mountain. Could he be hiding there?
My officers did search the grounds, but the girls themselves couldn't have made it that far.
Something about that mountain seems to breed tragic events.
More than you know, Marty.
Well, thank you for joining us, Annie. With all the Washingtons tonight, their son Josh, on this, the anniversary of the mysterious disappearance of Hannah and Beth Washington.
Well, hello, friends and fans. All right, let's do that again. All right. Well, hello, friends and fans. It's beyond awesome to have you guys all back this year. First off, I gotta say, I am super excited to welcome all my pals back to the annual Blackwood Winter Getaway. Ah! So, let me just let you know, let's take a moment to address the elephant in the room for a second. I know you're all probably worried about me, and I know it's gonna be tough on all of us going back after what happened last year, but I just want you all to know, it means so much to me that we're doing this, and I know it would mean so much to Hannah and Beth that we're all still here together, and I'm thinking of them. I really want to spend some quality time with each and every one of you, and just share some moments that we'll never forget for the sake of my sisters, and, you know. Okay, so let's party like we're fucking porn stars, okay? Make this one trip we will never forget, all right? Yes!
Yes, it's been 1 year since Josh's sisters have died, and now we're going back there for a party. I'm sure nothing will go wrong this time. It will be the player's job to keep those teens alive until dawn. There are a few more things that I want to go over, such as the don't move mechanic, which involves holding your controller still. You can imagine what this can be used for later in the game. Also, playing this game on my PS5, it felt the controller was harder to keep still compared to playing it originally on the PS4. Another nice touch is the fixed camera angle the game uses for exploration. Reminds me of old survival horror games. Despite occasionally making it clunky to navigate, It works well enough and helps build tension. That said, the game is not perfect by any means. On a second playthrough, the game will be less impactful, but you're probably going to need it. Keeping everyone alive is quite difficult on the first playthrough. It can just be hard to guess what you need to keep everyone alive. The story does have a lot of twists and turns that keep you guessing, but it does work overall. Supermassive Games are going to make other games, such as the Dark Pictures Anthology published by Bandai Namco, a smaller series of games. They also made The Quarry, published by 2K, which is kind of a spiritual successor to Until Dawn. The main thing they added to those games is multiplayer, which just involves splitting which characters you play as. Supermassive Games to make some VR spin-offs of Until Dawn for Sony, but their relationship seems kind of over, with Supermassive Games having no involvement in the remake. So it seems like they continue doing more of the franchise, with a movie also in the works. Maybe it will also even get some kind of sequel. Only time will tell. But yes, overall give Until Dawn a look if you haven't. It's Supermassive Games' best game, and most likely the best game in the narrative adventure genre. I'm not sure if the graphical improvements can be worth the price tag. If you got a PS4 or 5 lying around, you can pick up the PS4 version for about £10. If you're on PC, enjoy? Well, maybe wait. The game is only around 8 hours, but if you got the cash to splash, it is going to be an enjoyable experience. Oh look, it's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, other things of that nature. Follow on the platforms that are relative. Oh no, it's Halloween. It's spooky, things are happening. On the screen now, look at that. Oh no.
Nice car. Perfect.